Alright, so I'm going to be playing back this video of my personal best from yesterday. The final time was 136, sorry, 134.36. I'm going to take notes on it, comment on it, and see where I could do better. I guess, I don't know. Video starts with where the previous run died. This is standard single chamber strategy. Works decently well for me. Alright, so far so good. Things going the way it should. Oh no, that's a disaster. Wait, maybe we can live through this. It's not quite over yet. Let's see how it goes. And that's taking a spy kit is not recoverable there. That's the end of it. It's possible I could have manualed the reserve and still gotten out, but it's pretty much dead. So, didn't feel like going on from that point. I like to keep my backup in file C because that one has good karma in it. File B was cursed. Has to be left clear. Alright, series. Pretty standard opening, no moonfall. Well, doesn't save me time because I can't do it fast enough, so. Pumped off a slope, lost about 15 frames. So like a normal time, going through, I can see the in-game time. So in that final door, if it's good, I'll have like 767. A couple of times I had like a 756. That was, sorry, not 7, 857, 856. Anyway, as long as Ridley is sub-minute, that's fine. Ridley was over a minute, so not great. So I actually got a downhill boost off of that steam. That's actually very helpful. 45.29 is better than I usually get in series, but 45 is kind of a curse that means I'm going to die later. So 45 usually means I reset later. Standard parlor strat. I don't bother with the moonfall at the top. When I tried to do the right side stuff that everybody else does, I kept messing it up. Whenever I'd mess it up, it'd be slower than my current strat, so. Inspecting the pits. And there's the reset, because falling far enough behind and lost enough time. I think this one also resets. Not yet tracking the box. Going to be. I've got a notepad open and I'm going to keep track of how many times I'm bonking each area. Except for Suitless, there's this again. Another 45. Good fitness. Not as fast as jumping, but as long as I don't fall in a pit, it's not too much slower. .303 morph grab. Normally I get like 305, sometimes 304. So 303 morph grab is extremely rare. Usual fumbles in construction zone. I should really learn a smoother strat for that. Waiting for stuff and confirming that I'm in the right spot, it's probably costing me a full second on construction zone revisit. Standard beginner pit room revisit. Bad entry into climb. Decently clean parlor. And a 452 bomb. It's better than average for what I do. Carefully aligned to the specific pixel for the
Fast jump back. Bomb torso immediately jumps back. 3 shots. 1 missile drop. Miscounted my shots there. No, that was actually fine. Alright, so a 530 BTX death. That's decent. The bomb torso death time is more important than the time that you collect the bombs. Because the fight can have a few seconds to swing if you go wrong. Missed my timing to kill the waivers. But I got the backup. And that's bad. I was supposed to kill that guy and not hit him. So now I'm down energy and missiles. Stop to farm them from the mushroom. So I'm already a bit behind doing this early supers. Didn't get the deboost properly. Stumbled off there and wasted a super. The super's not as crucial on this route because I'm going to be doing grade first. It'd still be nice to have. Got the reverse mock ball. That's convenient. Saves me several seconds. Nothing dropped from the first round. Jerk. Big energy for the second. That's good. Now I know that I have 20 in my reserve. Bonked the pipe. Nice little time loss. $8.39 is not a disastrously bad charge time, but also not great. I really do not want to take hits from those guys. So. They do 20 damage, and I want to hold on to that energy. Ideally, I would have farmed them for energy, but I kept missing my shots. Got the Moonfall. Didn't get the D-boost. I tried to do a sort of buffered spin jump. So I keep jump held, and I turn left to jump at the right time, and then I try to hit right for the D-boost. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. Got the mothball. And the quick drop. Didn't get the mothball there. And didn't get the jump across. Standard mini crate hallway. Jumping the supers that you're supposed to. So now I'm going to use my energy for the lag reduction. I do the standard 4 supers to kill, so not the pro way, but it works for me. Having Kraid drop tons of supers is nice because then mini Kraid can put stuff in my reserve. That was not a good return through party room. Slow frog pocket. I want those missile drops from the silos because those will mean more energy drops later when I'm trying to farm energy. Patented farm strat for business center. Didn't really get much out of the farm this time. Got a couple of supers though, so that's nice. I opened up the door to ice early because supers are going to be much more valuable later on. Whereas right now I'm headed for a full refill. So this high jump pickup, I'm actually a few seconds behind pace. Don't need the last Sova, so I'm just going straight in. That's a disaster. Hitting that hopper is 80 damage, and this hell run is pretty tight. So. But Cathedral is really good. Was lucky enough to get a mockball there. And I fell in lava on accident. So entering this room on 23 instead of 33 is good. Because on 23 I'm in health bomb, which means I'll get better energy drops from the enemies. So like King Tack dropped me a big energy and the 2 waivers were jerks. Whatever. So like I've just lost like 10 seconds because that hopper hit in pre-cathedral. But I'm somehow still alive. Or continue. Standard speed hallway arm pump strat. I actually got speed missile first try for once. Good speed missile return. Arm pumping on the way up probably saves me one single solitary frame. Maybe two. Standard single chamber strat. Missed the gate to the first shot. That's small time loss. Good high wall jump, so got maximum energy coming in even. Got the D-boost. That's good. That saves me about a second over my old strats. I'm hoping for energy from these solos, but they're not cooperating. They're just dropping smells. I wanted to hold on to my reserve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I did 5 farms there. So it was 1723 when I started farming. Let's call it 22. 29. So it cost me about 7 seconds to do those farms. Going into Nutella refill costs about 15 seconds. So it's actually faster to do 3 to 5 farms. You could probably do like 6 farms for bugs. They still save time versus Nutella refills. So I guess I'm changing my strategy there. This is a good clock fight. This is right. Yeah, that's a zero swipe clock fight. Like, I could have gotten away with just like 3 farms. Have the bugs. So I have 383 energy. I have full missiles, so Croc cannot drop any missiles. Supers are kind of a rare drop from Croc, so I'm going to get mostly energy from it, which is good. That's what I want. I want to stop this and see. He drops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, I've already got 1. So he dropped 11. He dropped 11. I needed 6 be at full energy, and then 5 more into the reserve So Croc filled up my reserve there. Croc filling up my reserve is actually very helpful, because it means that after getting all the Croc items, I won't have to farm to full. My reserve is already full. So, solid energy drops there is actually a time save. I fall through the left side of this door, so the power bomb takes care of all of the mellows. So all but the top one is dead when I run past. Let's see. Really good grapple pickup time. So, I was behind at speed, and I'm ahead at grapple. That's really good to get that mock ball too. I like to conserve my energy here. Just wait for the acid. The spike deboost, so like, go back and look at the energy cost of that. I have 427 energy right here. Take the spike boost, that's 60. Then I spark back, and I'm at 333. So, it's 427 to 333. So that's actually less than 100. $60 there. 34 on the spark. So that actually cost me 94 energy. Whereas if you spike deboost twice, it's 120. So it saves energy to deboost and spark. And then I don't farm to full there, so I only did 2 farms. So that's where the energy drops from Croc probably saved me about 5 seconds. Didn't get the fast jump through the door. Good climb up business center, so happy with that. Standard alpha spark setup. So, like, I wait for the door before I spark. So I ended up sparking a bit low and couldn't do the ledge grab onto the ledge. I could probably save time if I cleaned up the ledge grabs in that area. Bad entry into Green Hill. I wanted to get the speedball through. Green Hill is always a mess, but 200 energy is good. That's a normalized way of getting up and into this room. Ensures a good door scroll and I can avoid that hit. I took the hit this time for lag reduction. So like any time that I enter the room with over 200 energy, I take the hit for lag reduction. Wanted to get a mockball there, but didn't. So I saved the energy tank until after Billy Maze, so that I can so that I'll have full energy after the tank and not slightly less than full. I guess that doesn't matter since I'm not doing landing site anymore. I'm so used to doing it though. Some stumbles in Billy Maze room. I took the boulder hit leaving Billy Maze room because it was faster than waiting for the boulder. So the energy tank cancels out that boulder hit. Good spark through pit room. Getting back up out of old mud brain is always a pain. Got the ball boost across first try, that's good. Since I don't need to conserve energy, I actually just run across the spikes. I missed the jump, so... Jump through the door so that I actually get up onto the first ledge. Yeah. That's actually a good door. I've been trying to figure out a good strategy for the door into 230 missiles. It seems like oftentimes I'll scroll it wrong and lose extra time in the door. Got the mockball out, that's rare. A super would have been nice to have, but it's a rare drop, so the drop wasn't on my path. I should throw in a real strat for Terminator. That's not a good way to do that room, so... Alright, into the Brinstar cleanup. This is identical to Hondo. Like, the only place this is slightly different from Hondo is picking up waterway. Everything else, you just do your Hondo strat. Jump through the door for a good door fix. Farm those guys because I do need the power bombs. being careful to farm with these guys too, but I'm doing it badly. Because I do want to be pretty close to full-on power bombs by the time... I want to be full-on power bombs by the time I get back to Norfair. Yep. Yeah, that was not a good Atticum spike run. So I've started doing this upshot jump to the power bomb. I'm not sure if that actually saves time or not, but I've been doing it. I feel like firing the beam during a power bomb shot causes a ton of lag, so I've been trying to avoid doing that. I'm not the fastest at Mission Impossible, but I got it, just barely. I don't know why. I'm gonna go back and look at my inputs there. Why? Up a push shot. You can see my inputs, that X right there. That's me pushing shot. Why? I'm gonna blame that slope. The shot came out when I aimed down. That slope. I'm gonna blame that slope in the ceiling. That's what's been messing up my wave gate. See, this time I hit shot below the slope. So it actually came out. Then I was able to morph afterwards. That slope has been eating my shots. Good to know. Make sure you shoot before you hit the slope. Missed the D boost out, so bad door fix and stuff. Thank you for the powerbomb drop. I was hoping for a free super from those guys, but it's not desperately needed, so I don't stop to farm them. So, I'm being more aggressive in using supers. Jump through the door, because jumping through the door gives me a better door fix. Arm pump a lot whenever you're suitless in water. Usually that Puyo farm is nothing, but it costs 0 time, so I say it's always worth farming that Puyo. That free super there is actually nice to have. Someday I should learn to do the clip quickly. I know how to clip up there, and I can do it in a randomizer if I don't have bombs, but it costs a lot of time, so I don't do it in runs. Alright, headed into X-ray, so I want to be around 450 when I leave X-ray. I want my power bombs to be full. I haven't been doing Lake Gauntlet for very long, so this seems like a really good X-ray time, but I don't have a lot to compare it with. Taking some spike kits. Get me down to where I want to be. And I don't want to be in the low 400s, so... Still down by 1 power bomb from where I'd like to be, but I'll take it. It's not a disaster. I can still get up to full power bombs in Maridia. Someday in the distant future, a first try crystal spark up there could replace the R mode blue suit. But it'll be really hard to pull off. Spending time in the lava is just fine, because I have to damage down in this segment anyway, so any extra bonks or whatever here don't actually matter. Freeze those guys, take a little extra dip in the lava. Looks like I got the ice escape, that's good. And this is exactly where I want my energy. 2 Sova hits, and then I set up in the doorway. So that reserve has been full since Rock, and there's been essentially nothing going into it since then, because I've always been below full energy. What was my drop from the Sova? Just a missile. Sometimes that Sova will drop a super, so I like to go over and pick up his drop, because if it's super, it can be super helpful. standard safe R mode blue setup. There's a risky setup where you can wall jump up while you're holding the spark, and then brake spin at the top to trigger the spark just as you're getting close to zero. But that's more dangerous. Tighter time window. Alright. So time to actually go over this Maridia in detail. So I do the turn through the door. So like, going to reverse speed. You'll see a lot of people do a morph and an unmorph. That's not really necessary because I'm not carrying a spike suit. So instead I turn through the door in order to preserve momentum. And then I freeze the fish from the side. As soon as, like, I'm watching for the fish to be far enough right that I won't bonk into this ledge that I want to get on top of. And I freeze it from the side so that I can press against it in order to rise a little bit faster. So now I'm on top of it. Maybe jump. Same deal with this crab. I freeze the crab, and I press against it to rise faster. And just barely ledge grab onto there with the standing jump. You don't quite need a crouch jump. So like right here, I turn just before landing. So I turn and spin so that it only takes one frame to turn. And my momentum keeps me going to the right to land on the platform. And I freeze the crab before he turns the corner, so he's still flat like that. Charge a shot, freeze the fish. Jump and morph so that I get a crouch jump. When I do that in the practice hack, it's usually like 19 seconds, sometimes 18. Once again, press against the crab in order to rise up faster. So this crab at the top of Main Street, whenever I watch someone else run, it's a pet peeve. Because most people will farm that crab, or they'll spend time killing it. They'll jump as part of that. And when they jump, that causes the door to be scrolled to the wrong position. And there's no reason to farm the crab, because his farm is completely useless. If he drops energy, it's worthless because I'm going to pick up an energy tank in a minute anyway. If he drops a power bomb, it's also useless because there are better power bomb drops later. So it's better to just run along an arm pump than jump before the door. You get a better door scroll by jumping like that. And in Everest, best thing to do is to arm pump off. Like, ideally, if you could, if your arm pump took you off the ledge, off the slope at the very top, that would be best. Because once you start gliding after arm pumping off the slope, you'll be moving faster than your walking speed underwater. So the sooner you arm pump off of this slope, the better. I didn't get the arm pump off until fairly far down the slope, so minor time loss there. Grapple resets the fall speed so I can get into the hole. The little safety slope right here, but I still got the morph jump first time. So you notice that during the fanfare, I'll start holding down. So holding down right there. Down makes me fall straight down instead of being carried to the left, so I can turn around sooner and get out of that little pocket. I go through the left side of this door. If you go through the right side of this door and do the unmorph setup to get over, you spend about a second in the door scroll. It's about the same to just freeze the fish and land on it. right here, I watch for that wall hitting the edge of the screen. So I'm arm pumping until I see the wall hit the edge of the screen. When I see the wall hit the edge, that's when I know to start firing my missiles. And I fire about 7 missiles, so that I know the door will be open when I get there. And I watch for this big grass right here. Like when Samus hits the grass at that tile, that's when I fire the shot down. Can't quite see it hit the turtle, but it hits the turtle. That wakes up Mama Turtle. That wakes up Mama Turtle as soon as possible, so that I'm not waiting for as long for her to actually rise up. You can grapple off of this grapple block on over to the wall on the right. That only saves time if you hit it correctly. If you mess it up, you lose a lot. So I think it's safe to just spin jump over. No risks. Taking a hit there from Mama Turtle is actually a little bit bad. Like, it's not bad on the level it'll kill me, but it means that when I get energy drops from Bob's Boon, they won't go into my reserve. And if they had gone into my reserve, that would save me time. But it is what it is. I feel like if I was really fast, I could freeze the crab on its way down instead of after it starts going back up, so I could probably practice that some more and get better. Not. I want to figure out a way to get rid of that straight up jump at the end of Everest. Because that doesn't feel good. I want to get on top of the fish as soon as I can. Angle shot for the door so that it's already open before I get up there. Have no door bonk. It's possible to beat the tide in this room and not have to wait for it to go back down. But it's very tight to beat the tide. Jump for the door scroll. Jump over the little pits. The chute dropped a super up there. I should have been getting grapple out so that I could get the super, but I did not. So that's too bad. Because I failed to get up the first time. That's one thing. When you're ledge grabbing in Maridia, if you miss a ledge grab in Maridia, it's like a 10-second time loss. So it's much better to just keep trying. On keyboard, I can just hold down and mash right in order to keep trying to ledge grab until I get it. It's better to just mash until you get the ledge grab, rather than give up too soon and retry. Because if you miss a ledge grab, it's 10-second time loss. So I tried to do this down back, but I did the down back too soon. So I actually lost time trying to do that strat. Now for the patented Aqueduct Snail Manip. So I lay the power bomb immediately. I turn left after I get aligned with the hole. Then I'm watching for Samus to get close to these markers on the pipe. When Samus gets close to the markers on this pipe, that's when I know to turn to the right. So I turn to the right and I start arm pumping and running. And right there I don't arm pump, I do another small jump. If I line this all up right, the snail will be in a good position to help me. So like, ideally, the snail would be up here somewhere. If the snail is up here and has not turned this corner, then arm pumping across this section right here will make the snail advance a little bit and just barely turn the corner. And if you see the snail turn the corner, that's ideal, because if you see the snail turn the corner, then it's at the highest possible position you can actually do a crouch jump off. Because I didn't see the snail turn the corner, I knew that it was a bit lower than the ideal position, so I had to do a couple of wall jumps up. But it's really important to successfully manipulate that snail because it can save you like 10 or 15 seconds compared to doing nothing. Got the grapple jumps up. Played it a little bit risky there. It's safer to overshoot and fall down at the top. So on Botwoon's door, you notice up here this screen is scrolled all the way up. That's good. So I start falling a little bit. So the higher that you can get Botwoon's door, notice how it spends a couple of frames scrolling the door. So you want to door check Botwoon's door as high as possible to save time. The Suitless Botwoon fight, you can do it however you please. I go for the safe way. I save a few supers after the opening. I guess I don't have a good reason to save the supers, but I tend to miss more later on when it's moving fast. It's like, you saw how none of that went into my reserve. That's the effect of taking that Mama Turtle hit. So Mama Turtle essentially robbed me of having a full reserve right here. That will matter in about 10 minutes. Great thing about Maridia is that one little thing in one spot can have an effect about 10 or 15 minutes later. That's just the way max percentage of this is. So, alright, Colosseum. There's a lot going on in Colosseum. So I want to land pretty much on the last tile of this ledge. This is simple, not something that it's easy to mess up. So, like, I want to keep this blue suit across Colosseum because having it when I enter the Dragon fight, instead of having to do the Crystal Flash and interruptions in there, will save me about a minute just because of farm for supers. And you notice I don't have 11 power bombs. I have 10 power bombs right now. I can't do a Crystal Flash in the Dragon fight. So if I lose this blue suit, then I'd have to back it up with an X-ray climb out of pressure room for 2-minute time loss. So essentially the run hinges on carrying this blue suit across Colosseum. So all of my strats are designed to be no mistakes. Things that I will nail pretty much every time. So simply run in, get to about the third column so I land on the ledge, really jump. Do not do a full height jump. If you do a full height jump here, you'll actually rub on this pillar and it'll rob you of your distance. So you have to jump a little bit low so that you pass underneath without rubbing. You should land on a corner, maybe jump again, angle shot there. So like you notice I'm just holding up and right here. That will get me onto that. And cross product showed me that you can just do a little wall jump right here as you're at the water surface. Usually that'll get you a grapple onto that block, but I missed this time, so I keep holding right. Sand is a bit weird. Depending on how your hitbox is aligned when you hit it, sometimes you can keep the blue, sometimes you don't. So I hold right, because I know that I'm going to bounce the first time I hit it. And if you're holding right, or holding forward, sometimes you can get some walking speed during that bounce. So you see how I've got some echoes, so I've got some walking during that bounce. So I've actually kept the blue suit in spite of touching sand. So you have to remember, it's not when you touch the sand, it's when you sink. When you sink in the sand is when you lose the blue suit. So if you do things right, you can hold on to it. So landing on it was not great, but I recovered from it, kept going. Good deboost. So you need to kill those Metroids. Blue suit will take away your iframes if there's enemies doing stuff. So you need to either kill these Metroids or have them go off screen to the left. So you can do one deboost here and have iframes still. Because there's no enemies on the screen, I still have iframes when I land on this set of spikes. And I can turn around and jump, grapple that block, and just walk off, just grapple to get across the gap, and I have a blue suit already entering the Dragon fight. I'll pick up the missile and precious room later, after the Dragon fight. Dragon fight is safer than normal. I don't have to damage down at all. Don't have to do a crystal flash. Don't have to, well, I still want to get cooped once. I softened Dragon up with this charge shot and a bunch of missiles because doing damage at the beginning means there's less time grab up to the turret later, which means I have better energy. Having the blue suit, so like because I have the blue suit, I can just walk forward a bit. And as long as I have at least a tiny bit of speed, Dragon just passes through safely, no problems. So I can tell from my internal timing that Dragon is not doing a swoop and is doing a goop. So I come over here. I found that it's better for me to wait on the floor, not on the ledge. So I'm looking for a goop that is coming out about like this. Like I want a goop that is going to be at about that height above Samus's head. So I'm waiting for one that looks like it's on the right trajectory. I've picked this one. So I jump and I morph before it hits me. You notice how before the morph, I've got the little echoes following Samus. And then after the morph finishes, the echoes are gone. Because there's no speed echoes, the goop attaches. And I stay morphed, and I unmorph just before Dragon. Dragon will actually force you out of the morph. I probably don't need to unmorph at all there. Then fire the grapple at the right time. Hey, I've got a blue suit, which normally prevents being gooped, but I got gooped, got grabbed by Dragon, and Dragon is now dead. So, I think carrying a blue suit into Dragon's fight is actually very helpful, because I needed exactly one goop cycle to get through that, and that is a lot of supers. That is 7 super drops. It's actually really nice. So, the normal strategy for the Dragon fight, you need 2 goop cycles. One for the Crystal Flash to interrupt that and get a spike suit, and then a second goop cycle to convert that to a blue suit and kill Dragon. Whereas if you carry the blue suit in, you only need 1 goop cycle, so you have better RNG because you're only at the mercy of RNG once. Nice bonk for failing the grapple jumps. Also, ideally you can be at practically full energy entering the Dragon fight. Oh, I should go back and look at that. So right there. I'm looking for this specific tile because I know that aligns with the hole up above. And it's faster to pick up this missile after the Dragon fight.
There were some early runs a couple of years ago where I accidentally fell down again after sparking up. That's why normally people pick up Missile before Dragon. But I've decided to stop doing that. Standard Coliseum. Actually, I should go back and talk about this entry into Coliseum. So when you're doing this gravity jump through the door, if you go all the way back on the ledge, you'll actually get less height. The optimal height seems to be just 1 or 2 tiles away from the door. Get a last frame jump through the door and hold down and right. That gets me up there reasonably fast. There are other strategies, but that's what I'm using right now. It's possible for the Metroid to attack you during the door and deal damage. I wanted to get that super drop, but I missed it. It was a little bit too slow. 423 energy is not enough to go through the Ever halls and all that stuff right now. So I'm going to pick up the energy tank right now. If I'd done better at the grapple escape from Dragon, I would have more energy and I'd be able to just put off getting this energy tank, pick it up later. So if you actually fire anything in this room, there are so many enemies in this little room that if you fire your beam at all, you're going to cause lag. If you do anything in here, it's just going to be super laggy. So it's better to just fall through and do nothing. So when you grapple an enemy, look at how fast I'm moving forward just as a normal fall. And after you grapple the enemies, move forward a little bit faster. So I want 100 of my reserve. I have 1 reserve, so 5 big energies will fill it up. That is so that when I get to the statue in Lower Norfair, I can hop onto the acid statue with like anything, just a tiny amount of energy, and my reserve, and the reserve will trigger after the statue. So I'm farming here just for 5 big energies to put just enough energy into that reserve. This is where that Mama Turtle hit, like, how long ago? So Mama Turtle hit right there, 39:33. Nine minutes later. Yeah, how much time am I spending on this part? So 48:23. Alright, so I spent about 8 seconds on that farm. So Mama Turtle hit caused me to spend, say, an extra 5 seconds farming 10 minutes later. But that's not all bad, because that also got me some supers. So let's talk about the snail. It turns out that you don't have to jump over the snail. If you fire your shot at the correct time, you can actually just start kicking the snail. That saves time. I do the left sand pit first, because I don't have the UWJ skills to make the right sand pit first. I wanted that power bomb drop. I really want to get to full power bombs before I leave to Maridia. So I've got 4 more power bombs that I want to farm on my way out. Actually 5, because of course there's the Shack Tool wall. Standard angle cancel to pick up the reserve. This right here, so I do a couple of wall jumps, but once you're above the surface of the water, you can use space jump. This right here, that is Alcatraz. So I do a spin jump to the left, then I do a wall jump off of it, I press down to morph. Exact same thing that you do in Alcatraz at the very beginning of the game. And you can actually do that same Alcatraz wall jump in the 3 tile gaps above, but I don't hit it fast enough or reliably enough to save time, so in actual runs I just use bomb. In a randomizer, you can be forced to come here with no bombs, and you have to do those Alcatraz jumps in 3 tiles, which is pretty hard. So this first guy, I freeze him just because I don't like him. The second guy, I freeze him because if I don't freeze him, he'll hit me an extra time as I'm trying to get out the door. So like, he'd be hitting me an extra time about right now, and that would take away my speed and cost me time, so I freeze him. I'm crossing this room, I'm holding a charge shot, so that as I'm in the door, I release shot, like you can see on the input display in the lower left. Holding shot when I enter the door. After I'm in the door, I release shot. So if the shot is buffered to come out on the first frame, and then I come out of the door, so that freezes the second one. So that way they're not doing anything, they're not really in my way. Freeze that guy. So this looks a little bit high. You might look at that and say, wow, that Ever's high, it's going to be hard to get on top of. But here's what I do. I do a stationary spin jump. So you look at the input display, land, hit right just a little bit, then hit jump. That's what we call a stationary spin jump. Then up near the peak is where I enter the sand. When you're spin jumping underwater, you move forward faster than if you're doing a straight jump. So doing that stationary spin jump instead of a straight up jump, even a crouch jump, means that I can get onto a higher Ever than otherwise. So stationary spin jump to get onto the Ever makes a difference there. This is where moonwalk is useful. You just carefully align to be just barely on the edge. Notice a fall. So like when you turn a little bit, Samus is already falling, but she's still on the ground, which means I can spin jump out of her. We call that a flatly jump. Aim for the hole, just smash jump to get up there. So right here, I'm watching the patterns of the water to know when to jump, so that I'll be up there when the water is at low tide and I can space jump out. And I carry the pseudo screw up so that the first bug that comes down doesn't crack me. It takes 3 missiles to kill Shaq, so I hit 2 to soften him up so that he'll die quickly at the end. And I'm dumping missiles here so that when I get to the Gold Torizo fight in Lower Warfare, I can farm supers. 5 means I'm still going to have to dump more missiles later, just because there are a lot of stuff that drops missiles and I'm going to be picking up missile packs. 5 means that I have some missiles to spend and my menuing is messed up. So now I'm setting up for the angle jump, or R jump as you call it. I turn high jump off so that I have 4 frames for the timing window. So right here, I turn left while I'm in morph. You can see the left press so that I turn left in 1 frame, and then standing up, the X-ray is done with a turn to the right. And then once I'm standing, I do a little jump with down still held, and tap right a little bit. So now I'm clipped in. If you look at Samus's leg, you notice she's a little bit into the floor, whereas kneeling right here, you can see the tip of her knee. She's not in the floor at all. Whereas after I do that little jump, I'm in the clip pose and I'm a little bit into the floor. You notice I've still got down held and I've still got angle held. Having angle held when you do this jump means that you'll start lower than you would normally start from a crouch, or even lower than you would start from a standing jump. And having down held means that on the first frame of the jump, I will be aiming down. So on pause, press jump on basically the last frame. I keep jump held. So recently I've started just keeping jump held all throughout this angle jump. Like, I come onto the pause screen, I don't have to go turn high jump off or do anything, I just immediately unpause, and I keep jump held the whole time. So once I feel like Samus is going to be in control again, I want to hit down on the first frame. That got me a morph. It's actually important to not hit right too soon. If you hit right too soon here, you can screw it up, and I was messing up the trick for a long time by hitting right too soon. You've actually got a lot of time here to hit the right button and get into the hole, as long as you hit down soon enough. So first try R jump is good. Notice you can actually shoot the orb open right here while you're still in that force crouch from the first jump. You can shoot the orb open, and then it'll just open sooner, and I grab it with a wall check. Notice I keep jump held so that I land here and I do a little bounce, because you accelerate a little bit faster in the spring ball jump than you do in just a normal roll. And I actually keep jump held throughout this tunnel. This little piece of tunnel, I keep jump held, get through faster. But that longer tunnel is long enough that I don't save time using the spring ball bounces. This time I kind of failed the space jump out a little bit. I'm actually looking for the water line. So I want to be going up when the water line gets to about there. So like, I want to do a space jump when the water line is at the bottom of this tile. That's when I do my morph. Get out. A couple missiles so that... See how close that missile is to hitting Shaq? If that was a normal beam shot, it would have hit him and not hit the door. So that's why I keep a couple missiles around. And that Puyo had it coming. He deserved every bit of that. Notice how I'm holding shot. So I'm once again aiming straight, buffering a shot through the door. So I freeze that Ever to act as a platform for me. Normally I freeze that first Ever high and go under him, but maybe I'll do it that way from now on. A small note here. So I land, jump, lay a single bomb. I'm conserving a power bomb because I want full power bombs heading up to Lower Norfair. I keep jump held so that I get a first frame jump as soon as I land. Then I let go of jump so I don't go too high. And I try to time my unmorph so that I'll be on the ground. If you unmorph in the air or above the ground, you'll spend extra time falling. You'll lose time there. So I want to unmorph on the ground and being crouched to jump up onto the next ledge. I'm hoping to get supers off these chutes, but they're not cooperating. That guy dropped a power bomb, but I accidentally skipped it. That guy dropped a missile, which is useless. Pretty beginner plasma room strat. I shoot the first guy, to essentially keep him where he is. He behaves different if I shoot him. I don't know why. I'm hoping for power bombs from these Puyos. Got a couple. If the Puyos have good power bomb drop chances, it is faster to come here and go through the yoink room than to run along the floor down below. Just because running underwater is so slow. Notice I morph here. So when you do a morph and an unmorph underwater, it changes the speed that you will have moving to the right. If you don't morph in that room, you won't make the door ledge. But doing the morph and the unmorph means I land on this door ledge and I can jump through. Use the cax, take supers. I keep spring ball jump held through this little two-tile tunnel so that I move a little bit faster. I messed up the UWJ because it turns out you need to be next to the wall in order to wall jump. But that's okay because it means a couple more supers. I've been messing up the UWJ a lot recently by simply not being next to the wall. So, something to practice. So you notice during this section I hit jump right here, and I keep jump held through that little tunnel above. And keeping jump held means that, I don't have to accelerate again. I move to spring ball speed. And I keep jump held here too, so it carries me across the gap. So, in the short tunnels, you want to keep jump held with spring ball. I still have 2 power bombs that I want to farm. It's a little tiny farm because right here, I didn't point this out last time, but what I want to do is I want to jump just before the door, so that instead of going down below and needing to jump off of the floor where the snail is, I have one single jump carrying me across that gap. A little bit of time lost there because I missed the corner. Shoot the snail again so that I don't have to accelerate again. I got my 2 power bombs that I wanted. That's nice. Once again, I'm using keyboard to rapidly retry the ledge grab until I get it. So. Very precise 2 spin jumps to get across there. Once again, I'm keeping jump held during that little tiny 2-tile tunnel. Keeping jump held is faster than just rolling through and needing to accelerate. Quick drop into the sand. Blast the ears because they deserve it. Shoot the door. So, one thing you might notice is I try to get onto the ledge farther to the right, because if you're going to be walking a long distance underwater, it's better to start walking sooner. Buffered shot through the door to kill the first Ever. You don't really need to kill these Evers, but they deserve it. So right there, I shoot before jumping off this ledge, so that I don't have to interrupt a spin jump later. If I opened the door later, I'd be interrupting a spin jump, and when you go from the spin jump to the standing jump, you lose some speed. That's a bad door scroll right there, but I think it's better than walking through the door because the walking through would take longer. missed the hole. So in Hundo, this is where they'd go for the Kraid revisit. I really want to keep my 2 supers and 1 power bomb, so I do Kraid revisit after Lower Warfare. I'm doing Lower Warfare next. So I've got power bomb selected to go through the southern route. I stopped just before. Well, I stopped in a way that didn't charge a Shine Spark, so I'd be able to get some falling speed before the blocks opened up. Fall down a little bit faster. Shooting these guys and killing them actually causes a ton of lag. I don't know if it's actually faster or slower, but I don't like the lag. So. I've got 23 missiles. I want to get rid of them. I wanted to get a deboost off of that Silva, but I didn't. So I'm actually going to ditch a bunch of these missiles. I watch for Samus to be right about on this first block. When she hits the first speed block, I fire the shot, and it opens the door. I don't have the good timing yet for actually doing the space jump across part, but I figured out the shot time. So. I do need to take this Nutella refill. And if I do good on this part, I should be able to get the acid statue without triggering my reserve. This powerbomb count is actually pretty dicey for Lower Warfare. Let's go back and look at that flame again. I'm going to be short on powerbombs the whole way through Lower Warfare. So right here, you jump here. So this Lower Namahe is firing a flame. You want his flame to be off screen so that it despawns. So if you jump above the Lower Namahe, if you jump too high, you rub this pillar. And if you rub the pillar too much, this other flame will hit you. That's really, really close. That is like 1, maybe 2 pixels away from killing me. Because if I take that flame hit here, it's just going to mess up the lava dive. The run is as good as dead. So like 1 or 2 pixels, and it would have been over. Once again, bring this guy on screen so that he starts his firing animation. That'll affect what he's doing later. If you immediately jump off of that guy, you're safe. If you don't immediately jump, you'll have to wait a full cycle, and that means the lava dive costs more energy. Because this guy was on screen earlier, he's at a convenient spot where we can just wall jump past him without waiting at all. This is all why I do the run-in strat. That was a good lava dive. If I don't hit the lava dive like that perfect, then a run is essentially dead. So I've spent a lot of time on lava dive. So this is a spot in Hundo where you'll see people run over to the right, and then they'll do a short charge to get some speed echoes. I can't do that reliably. I'm very bad at short charge. So my strat is around not doing that. I just land there a little bit to reset my speed so it's aligned properly with these flames, and I get across. You know, as long as I get to this acid statue before my reserve triggers, I'm fine. See, plenty. The statue animation takes 200 energy if you're draining energy during the animation. But your reserves don't trigger until after the animation. I turned to the right before doing the crystal flash, just because I felt like it. Jumped a little bit so that I'm falling before the blocks open. Ideally right here, like I fall into the blocks. If I hit this right, What's supposed to happen is I do a little bonk up here on the ceiling, and this first guy swoops underneath and doesn't hit me, and then I land on the second platform, and then I can jump over the other guys and go through here with 0 hits. But I took a hit from the holds. It doesn't really matter. He does some damage, like over 100 damage. It's not a big deal. There are other routes for max Suitless where you cannot afford that, and it'd be very bad to take that hit. But I actually do a route that has energy tanks, so it's okay. I'm looking for super drops from GT, and he's being pretty nice to me. He's actually giving me a lot of supers. This is actually very fair. You notice I'm standing instead of crouching. I'm standing so that I get more chances to farm supers off of him, because I really want to leave this room with full supers. But this is enough. Like, now I'm at full supers. Being at full supers here is pretty nice. That means I have more supers for Ridley, more supers for post-Ridley. That's 4 powerbomb drops from him. 4 is better than average. I'm very short on power bombs during this lower warfare route, so getting 4 drops there. So this is a standard. This is a standard thing you'd see in RBO. People will align on this specific pixel so they get a max height jump through the door. If you're too far back, you don't jump as high. So you align right there so that you break the blocks and you can wall jump up. So like I think I'm supposed to watch for that spike hitting the edge of the screen in order to fire. I do those, so like if I time this wrong, or if I'm wrong about where the rippers are, they'll hit me. So I do those little spin jumps so that if the ripper's coming up behind me, the ripper dies and I don't get a hit. Screw attack across Pillar's room saves energy, and right now every little bit of energy that I can save means a little bit more energy that I'll have for the Ridley fight. So I'm using energy conserving strats rather than speed strats through Pillar's room. This lower warfare is actually almost identical to Hundo. It's just Hundo with a couple of crystal flashes added. A little bit of bonk there. Each of these key hunters that you can kill will take off about a second of power bump lag down here. I'm saving the Firefleece tank for the path out because I have enough energy to get so far. I can run down here, do 1 crystal flash, fight Ridley, pick up his energy tank. And as it happens, my energy puts me, next to these spike platforms when I took the crystal flash. So I do a microwave strat for the middle parts. If you can do the high-level KPDR strat, that's probably faster, but the microwave strat works. And in randomizers, I can actually go energy positive on the microwave strat and farm to full energy tanks. if I have a randomized shoe that lets me do it. No farming the Ridley farm room before the fight. I'll just farm afterwards if I have to. Ideally, I won't have to farm afterwards. So, charge shot, 3 supers, second charge shot. Another charge shot while setting up in position. Essentially, I'm only doing charge shots when I'm not able to shoot supers at him. I can tell he's dead now. I'm just trying to find a convenient time to get into his claws. Good Ridley fight. Except they wasted the super into the wall. I'm not sure exactly how long the Metal Pirates normal strat is, but the microwave strat I can get down to about 13 seconds. My supers are a little bit short here, so like I want to have just a few more. So I microwave 1 Metal Pirate on my way out, and 14 is good enough. You might notice I'm a bit short on power bombs. I don't have enough power bombs for another Crystal Flash, which I will need to do at some point before I'm out of the heat. I'll need to do a Crystal Flash somewhere. But I have plenty of energy to reach the Fireflies tank. And there's the power bomb pack in jail coming up, so I'm not worried about my power bomb count. It feels lower than I'm used to because I used to do early landing site and early gauntlet, so I normally have 5 more power bombs here and feel safer. But I think this is actually fun. I wanted to get the D-boost there, but it's not a big deal to miss the D-boost. And the power bomb is a nice consolation prize, I guess. Being a little bit careful here. Freeze the guy on the floor so he can run past. I cannot do the Hodo Ruby special. Not even going to try. Just screw attack the block. So I lay the bomb, and then I don't always get this. And I didn't get it this time. I lay the bomb, I kind of wait for a bit, and I try to figure out the right time to start holding jump. You see A appear on the input display, so I'm holding jump right now. If you time it correctly, you can actually springboard jump over the gap without falling in. And so sometimes that'll save me a little bit of time. Standard jail strats, same things you do in Hundo. Except I kind of messed up the quick drops a bit. Ow, that spike hit is not good, but it's not the end of the world. Extra time the acid is not good, but it's not going to kill me, all these little spike hits and extra acid time. Didn't need that extra time loss going to the left. Essentially, all these little things just put me a little bit closer to my next Crystal Flash. So, out of Lower Norfair, And we're into the Upper Norfair cleanup, which is going to be Norfair Reserve, and Bubble Mountain Missile, and then Cathedral. So I skipped Cathedral on my first visit to Norfair because I don't have enough tanks to pick it up. And I just pick it up much later on my return visit. This is a bit different from the Hundo Norfair Reserve because I want to stay out of the lava. Whereas Hundo jumps down to the lava and just walks through it. I don't have the suits here, so not an option. So I'm not going to lay a power bomb to open the floor like Hundo would, because I'm going back to the Cathedral. I happen to know from testing that Rising Tide costs about 80 energy to space jump across. So I'm expecting to hit the doorway with about 10 energy here. Want maximum run speed for the space jump. The faster your run speed here, more time you save, so it's worth setting up to make sure you're all the way up. I was a little bit afraid that I'd actually go high enough to pick up that energy drop when trying to do the Crystal Flash. But it was fine. So if I hadn't taken the spike damage and the extra acid damage in Lower Norfair, I would have been... Maybe I would have done the Crystal Flash after collecting the missile pack. Let's go back and see that again. Right here, I just run into the room. So, come in here, bonk the door. So bonking resets my speed. If you have too much run speed coming in, you'll actually gap skip even without aiming down. It's like if you come in and from map rando and you came in from a room with a long runway, you'll gap skip right here without even aiming down. So I aim down after hitting the wall, and I shoot to freeze him. The slopes here force me down. This is perfectly normalized because the Deskiga, the hopper, resets RNG, so he's always going to do the exact same thing. All I have to do is run in, bonk the ledge, do it down back, shoot, and it gets me down. The second guy, just screw attack through him, reasonably fast. So, any beam that will freeze the hopper, you can do that with. I'd have to test Charge Spazer, see if Charge to Ice Spazer could kill him soon enough. I'm not sure. It's something I want to try out later for randomizers. Standard Kraid revisit to pick up the missile pack. Except I have Screw Attack to kill those guys instead of missiles. Probably faster to use missiles on those key hunters. At this point, I'm still kind of shaking a little bit from the Ridley fight. Just because now I know that I'm actually on a good pace, and it's a good run. It's like before Maridia and the Lower Norfair, this was not a good pace. But after that stuff, it was good. Good Maridia can turn everything around. So now, I've done Kraid, done Dragon, done Ridley, and I just have to go up to kill Phantom.
So my earlier route went up through Retrogrin. So now I have to go up to Alpha PBs and Beta PBs, pick that up before Wrecked Ship. Fortunately, I've got Space Jump and Screw Attack to make these faster. Don't have to worry about accidentally hitting the zeros. So, you might notice I laid the power bomb, and I didn't bother to shoot. If you shoot to open this orb, you'll actually spend extra lag time. So I didn't shoot to open it, just stand on top of it, let the power bomb do the work. Space jump past the Boyons. Bonk a little bit, trying to get back up. I'm short on supers. I needed to farm both of those supers because there's 2 super doors in Wreck Ship and the Ghidorah. Spike hit to reduce lag during the power bomb. Bonus super from one of the hoppers, that's nice to have. It doesn't actually make a difference. Kill the crab because he deserves it. And also because having one crab... I think having one less crab down there reduces the lag from the power bomb that opens the door. Messed up moat, fell in, so that's pretty bad. Supposed to space jump across, but my jump didn't land before it hit the missile, so... The easy way across ocean. Just space jump across. Spooky missiles is much easier with space jump and speed booster. And we're into the Fantoon fight. So, Fantoon, this is a category where you can one-round Fantoon. You can microwave him just like GT Classic. Assuming, of course, that you do it correctly. And of course, he's giving me a slow. That was pretty slow for a one round. I let him get too much speed before hitting him with the charge shot, so he went off screen and he has to come back on screen. So I lost a few seconds there. His drops are worthless. Whatever Fantoon drops there does not matter to me at all. Does not help him. So essentially I do exactly the same thing you do for eggs and bomb torso. I just angle up and shoot the door. So right here, this charge shot to break the blocks, if you have Spazer, it's 4 pixels wide, the position. If you have Plasma, it's 6 pixels. So I actually have an easier time hitting this charge shot than the Hundo players do. Because I have Plasma instead of Spazer. A couple of bonks there. The energy loss doesn't matter. One thing to note is that you come out of this door, you hold nothing coming out of the door, so that you stop immediately and lay the power bomb by the door. Because if you lay the power bomb too far left, then the power bomb will break these blocks right here, and they won't be there for you to run across. That's the same reason you fire a missile right here. So you fire the crouching missile because you hit crouch, you come out of the morph into crouch, and you fire the missile immediately. If you fired a normal beam shot, it would break blocks that you want to run across. So that's the purpose of that missile. I missed the jump there, so a little bit of time loss in this room. I wanted to get the D-boost, but of course I was too late because I missed the jump. So right here, I jump a little bit high, and as I'm falling down, so that I have the downward momentum, I fire a shot, and I keep shot held. So because I have the downward momentum, the shot opens the door, I have the shot held, and then I release shot once I'm inside the door so that it's buffered to come out in the next room. It's not a fully charged shot, but because it's plasma, it's going to wipe out that guy anyway, and it'll keep going. So I want to jump about right there. That's pretty much the perfect place to jump. Do a space jump. And then, this is not a mock ball. I want to have a hard morph where I bounce. And I'm not holding jump. So it's important to not hold. If you hold jump during this, if you're holding jump when you get hit by this Kazan, your trajectory will be a little bit different. And I think it's better to be not holding jump. And then after it hits me, I start holding jumps, so I bounce off the second Kazan. Not a perfect room, but it got me across pretty fast. Pretty happy with that. Just need to practice the ending part a bit. Pretty standard wreck ship E-tank. This space jump makes it a lot easier. One thing I've noticed is that my wreck ship with space jump and screw attack is about a minute faster than my Hondo wreck ship, just from all the little things that space jump and screw attack help with. I don't need to be careful in this room. I'm so used to trying not to take damage there that those are my natural strats. It does not matter if I take damage from anything right now. I still have the gauntlet energy tank to pick up before I get back into deployment. Attic. Attic is so much nicer with space jump and screw attack. Don't want that spark hit that slowed me down. So, the jerk robots. Got the charge shot buffered out of the door. Ideally, you should hit this spark and immediately morph. I'm not sure how I missed the morph. Okay, so there's one down input during the knockback frames. And the second... Okay. So you morph after the knockback frames end. That was what I did wrong. If you immediately morph, then you can go through, you can clip through the first robot. And it works out just fine with screw attack. So, ideally you hit the spark, immediately morph, get through the first guy, hit the second spark, again immediately morph, and get through the second robot. It didn't quite work out for me this time. Back through attic, nothing gets in my way. Sky Missile's jump is more forgiving when you have space jump. Missed the super block. I wanted the last frame jump before that door, so right here, coming out of this, so next door. Oh, pressed. So I've got angle, I've got shot pressed, so I'll fire a shot on the first frame. I've got angle, so it'll stop on a dime, so I'll have maximum run speed going out the next door. So I'll have more run speed for crossing bowling. And having more run speed for space jumping across always saves you time. A little bit of funneling around here. Like, I want you to get on top of this robot so that I can shoot at the second robot. Have him start moving faster, sooner. Standard direction reserve stuff. Got 2 of the quick drops, that's good. I should have used a power bomb there. Power bomb is a little bit faster. I'm just used to conserving power bombs. So these blocks actually are kind of a pet peeve when I see people playing randomizers. Like, if you have bombs and spring ball, the fastest way to pick this missile up and get back is to roll over, roll back. Stay in morph the entire time. Because if you have standard bombs, it is fastest to just use a bomb on the block. Instead of using... If you use a shot, you're losing time. But a standard bomb, just from rolling it back across, is the fastest thing there. So, anyway, my recent route change is late Gauntlet. So I need to pick up landing site PBs and Gauntlet. This room is a little bit different with space jump and screw attack. I need to practice that. This wraparound shot only saves time if you get it the first time. If you have to set up for it a second time, you're actually losing time. Compared to not going for it at all, getting it first try saves like a few seconds. Getting a second try loses time compared to not trying at all. Back half Gauntlet is so much better with screw attack. Doing the safe strat for the missiles. missile the pirates because I don't need their drops, and I prefer missiles over beams. I'm gonna fast forward the G4 cutscene. Good drop onto the elevator. I need to practice my Torian strats. My strats are designed around not landing the acid. There are routes where I will be entering Torian with like 70 energy, so if I land in the acid I just die. So everything, I'm being very careful to not land in the acid. But obviously I can stand to improve a lot of Torian. Simple strat here, the grouping strat, which is reliable. I know I can hit it right every time. I have not learned how to baby skip at all. I've tried it a couple of times. Well, I've tried practicing it for like an hour and got nowhere. So, no baby skip for me. Of course, a little bit clumsy stuff on my way to the refill room. I need to find a better way to deal with the boss room. I'm bad at Zeb skip, I fail most of the time. So it only saves a couple of seconds. It's never worth resetting the room if you have the ammo. If you have the ammo to kill the Zebs, just ammo the Zebs. It's not worth resetting the room. And since this is Max Suitless, I have plenty of ammo to spend on them. So I've been having this weird mother brain behavior recently where she doesn't do very much. So I'm pretending there's a magic pixel. So I try to stand exactly right there, and it seems like she's more likely to do nothing if I stand exactly there. But I think that's just superstition. And having the full beam, which makes the fight really short anyway. Like 2 onions and a ketchup. Mother Brain did not do very much that fight. It's important to be against the wall, because if you're not next to the wall when the rainbow beam hits, then every frame that it spends moving you towards the wall is a frame that you're not taking damage and you're just wasting time. Sometimes I'm going to eventually look at a guide and figure out the actual queue for 2 cries. But right now I don't actually know the queue for 2 cries and I just kind of read it. Costs nothing to go for it, so whatever. Standard, stand up. Missed one shot. That doesn't matter. Shooting the whole time there. So apparently there's one tile of Mother Brain that is not properly cleared, and it just turns black. And that tile only contains a few pixels, so they didn't notice when they were making the game. Pretty standard escape. I will be saving the animals. I save the animals in all my runs just because I do. If I stop saving the animals, then my times won't be a real comparison to previous runs, so I have to keep saving the animals because I was previously saving the animals, and I want my times to be comparable. Good spark. Having a little bit of pace jitters right here. And that's it. That's the run. 134.36. It's my best so far. I was keeping a rough track of bonks during that. Like, I was pressing a button each time that I felt like there was a 1 second pause. So, but not splicing it together to figure out exactly how much I lost. Anyway, estimating off of my bonk counter, I think I still got 3 or 4 minutes to save, just off little tiny bonks here and there. So. The Maridia there was actually really good. That was 20:31 spent in Maridia, which is the fastest Maridia so far. So yeah, the tutorial for max percent Suitless is right now is just look at the wiki page for the R jump and look at the wiki page for the R mode blue suit. And then just grind Maridia until you feel like you're good at it. I think this is the best route. I think this is a better route than the Moon Dance and X-Ray D-Boost route. Because you have an extra super pack, you have 2 extra energy tanks when you enter Lower Warfare. And Moon Dance takes a lot of time. The difference in the routes is 11 doors and 4 elevators. That works out to about 50 seconds on the elevators and about 40 on the doors. Because I'm doing late gauntlet now. So that's, call it 100 seconds of budget to work with to do your moon dance. Yeah, which eats like, say, 70 seconds right there. With a top tier moon dance, you're eating 70 seconds out of a 100-second budget. And then you can't afford any time to farm energy on your way to X-ray deboost. So whatever you leave green Bryn with is what you have. You get to X-ray with like barely over 200, and you have to hit first try X-ray deboost. Because if you do a second try X-ray deboost, you're losing time compared to this route. And if you do a third try, then you're really losing time. So yeah, this is a better route than Moondance and X-ray deboost. Also, there's farming for supers in Maridia. One important thing to note is if we go all the way back to Maridia, after I kill Batoon, you'll notice other runs, they'll kill Batoon, they'll get right here, and they'll stop. And they'll turn around to farm supers. That actually costs a lot of time, because when you stop, you're losing all that forward momentum that you had. And when you farm supers, every super that you want to pick up costs you 2 seconds right here. So if you have more supers before you enter Maridia, you have less reason to farm. And if you're carrying the blue suit all the way into the Dragon fight, you have less reason to farm. So that's actually a large part of where carrying the blue suit into Dragon saves time, is you don't have to stop and farm these supers. You already have everything that you need to get out. So if you want to farm supers after the Dragon fight, you can do it at that same bug hole. You can stop and farm supers before jumping up here. You can stop and farm supers right here if you really need them. I don't need them. I do spend a little bit of time farming supers right here, in addition to the energy that I do need. So I still have some time that I could save in Maridia. I think it's possible to hit sub 20, but that'd be really, really hard to have a sub 20 in Maridia.